Yeah, shalom, everyone. Shalom. I want to welcome everyone to King James Bible University, Precept Master. I'm Elder Michael Johnson with the Lost Sheep of Israel, and also one of the pastors over here with King James Bible University. And before we get really cranked up, like what I told, you see in the description where I spoke to, and I said that, recently that I seen, it was a little bit less a month or so ago when it was brought to my attention, but it seemed like it has gotten up a lot more and picked up some steam. And one of the most popular topics is showing, which it also shows the numbers is being masked here, because we had 5,000,000 more than 400,000 searches on me on the same popular topic about my wealth. So I want to put up a thing here and just want to know and just what your thoughts are. And here, just being curious, I'm going to put up a thing here in 1 second. And I'm asking the people, same thing here. You'll see it. And it's telling you how many here so far has done this search. And you can vote right there. You can see it right there. You can vote it. And how many has done the search thus far. And we just trying to check, and we're going to let this go for a minute before we really get into it. and then we're going to go forward. But we just want to know and just checking to see and trying to see what's going on. So what we doing, we just checking this. Thus far, we only had so far 58 people on 140, and we trying to see just based on this here, and we just want to see what people see. That's all we're trying to do, trying to get the numbers in, and we're gonna let the numbers go for a minute. And the main thing is, I don't know why. If you need to put your things in the chat, do not post them in the chat. Just put them in the comments. In the poll. So I'm asking you guys, just put them in the poll. I don't know why people continually put them in the chat, and you see the poll right there. And the question still is, how many thus far? You can see the poll. How many people has thus far did a search on my wealth? And mainly what they'll do, they'll say Elder Michael Johnson net worth. That's one of the strong things that people do. And we just trying to get the numbers right now based on what the people are doing. Right now we have more. I'm gonna try to get to at least 100 people to do it. So far we only got 94 that has done it thus far. And now we're getting over the 100. So we're going to let this go for about another, say, 30 seconds. And then right there, then we're going to end the poll. We're going to end the poll at that point. So we're just waiting for that poll to end. We're going to let it go for about another 15 seconds just to see what it is. So we're getting ready to end the poll and see what that is. And we have to sit there. We have to address the thing. So we get ready to end the poll, and we'll see what's going on. And we getting ready to do this. So we got more than half that already voted. So I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna get ready to end it. So if you haven't voted, you want to vote, and you wanted a less few that didn't, you need to put it in there. You go ahead and get it in, because I'm gonna end it in less than 10 seconds. It's getting ready to end. So we're getting ready to end it, and we're getting ready to put it to an end to it. And we're getting ready to put an end to it. So we putting the end to it, and we just got the thing there. So, and we have right now, we have 3% of the people thus far was did the search. And the reason why we wanted to check that is to see what are the numbers in doing that. And one of the things I want you to remember is this. And when people do this, and we're going to show a teaching, then I'm also, after this teaching, we're going to go into the Zoom area. We can actually even discuss it if you'd like to discuss it further. But we have 5.4 million people did this search across the platforms that we own. I'm on about 6 or 7 different platforms besides YouTube. And people have done this search. So the fact then, if this is people who was really serious about learning, taking the time, and they doing a search on me and my financials, I'm telling you this here, that even to the 3%, might be 4%. The best thing I suggest to you right now, change the channel and go somewhere else. And I'm going to tell you why. We're going to get into it, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because what was the purpose? And what was the point? Because that 3% makes you nothing more than a hypocrite. I'm being right up front with you. I'm going to always be up front with everyone. And I'm going to show you why, even scripturally show you what's going on. But it just lets you know that we got hypocrites that are here trying to access a value of me while ignoring the information that I give you to help you better grasp the Bible. You try to see what I'm worth. I'm telling you. That's why I say you can't make this stuff up. You cannot. It's impossible to make it up. Because this is what people do. They have nothing else better. And then when they see they can't precept something, they can't understand the Bible because they're more worried about something else. And it even goes on more to where if I'm worth $10 or $100 million, what would it help you doing? What will it help you? Nothing. But this is what we have. And we want to make sure that everyone understands that we should be here pursuing the kingdom of God. But they will accept the Spirit of God calling, and the same thing is with me. And I'm gonna show you some things. I'm gonna also show we're gonna go into what I'm doing and what I'm worth. And we got to see this, and we want to understand it. But I'm not going to change that 3%. Y'all need to find somewhere else to go, because you're nothing more than a hypocrite. That's literally all you are. You're just a straight out hypocrite, and you are the lowest of them all. But let's look at something. We're gonna get into this, and we're gonna find out something. We're gonna go over here to Matthew. We're gonna look at verse 20, chapter 20, but we're gonna pick it up at verse 1. And I'm going to show you and share some information with you as I'm going through here, but we got to see and figure out where I'm coming from, because it's telling us in Matthew chapter 20, verse 1, it says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man is a householder." I'm talking about Christ, but it's talking about this man. But they're going to use this to where we can actually figure out what is going on. And it says, "which went out early in the morning to hire laborers in his vineyard." So he went out to hire people to work in his field. This is what he did. It's telling you right there. And the best part is once they went out, he wanted to hire these laborers. He hired them for a penny. And you're going to see it right here. It says, "And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard." This is what he did, which tells us more so what he did, because once he did this, he departed. And you'll see also when we look at Luke chapter 10, verse 35, we're going to look at it a little bit more. We're going to look at this. And it says, "On the morrow when he departed, he took 2 pence." It's just like taking 2 pennies. And he paying one from the beginning and one at the end. So this is what he was making sure of as he was doing it. So he took 2 pence and he gave them to the host and said unto him, "Take care of him, including whosoever thou spendest more, I will come again, I will repay thee." So we're clear. We're pretty clear. And this is what I took up on. I took this on to where I teach the Word of God. I teach people how to understand it. I teach people how to go through the Bible and have a better understanding, more so than other people go those places. But the thing is, it's the 2 pence and what I chose to do. That's why you don't see no donation buttons here. You don't see no donation button. You don't see me asking anything for anybody. You don't see me trying to do anything from anyone anywhere. This is what I do, because I teach for what I believe, and I traded in this wealth that I have. And I'm gonna show you something. Let's look at Matthew chapter 6, but we want to look at verse 20. I'm gonna show you something. You see this here? In Christ is saying, he says, "But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal." Meaning this in a better way. When you storing up your wealth in heaven, it's different. And we're gonna be looking at it a little bit deeper on that to get a better understanding on what I'm saying and what he's actually saying, where this is coming from. Because many people here, they have salaries from $10,000 a year to more than $100,000. They're here right now. that are here that watches, to hear that listens. And even for myself, even when I was in the industry, in the field that I was in, I was making more than 6 figures a year. But it don't need to sit there to go into where I need to brag about the exact numbers, but I was over 6 figures a year. That's all people need to know based on the industry I was in. But what do it matters to anyone here? See, that's the key. What do it matters to anyone? Nothing. And I traded and I agreed up on the householders to labor for a penny a day. Now, it sounds logical, but it's logical. Meaning this, people will take it that's illogical for a penny a day physically, and it won't make no logic. But we must remember what's going on here when we look at things. And we find this actually in Isaiah chapter 55, verse 8, when the Most High is telling us this. He says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways your ways, saith the Spirit of God." So this we understand. We understand this. Our thoughts is not God's thoughts, and neither are his ways our ways. So what's more valuable? That's where I want people to sit down and really think about what's more valuable to you. Is it a penny a day that you can store up? Or is it what's physical, which you can actually be tangible right in your hand? So this is what I want each and every person to think about as we moving forward with this teaching. Because I want you to really pay attention to what's more valuable to you. What's more valuable to you is the key. And if it's more valuable to you physically, then you know where your heart is. Our thoughts is never be God thoughts. See, in the reason why I even say that, and the reason why I hold to what God is saying, God thoughts is neither due to the way we count days, the way we count hours, the way we count time, is more valuable. And God's saying He's going to give you a penny based on what? Because most of us are going to look at based on earth. And His salary is put against it, against that penny. I want you to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Write it down, because we're going to also go to the screen. We're going to look at some things. We're going to look at some numbers and get a better understanding of that. But the main thing is we got to put that up against what is in physical based on what the Most High is offering. Because He told us something to not store our stuff in heaven. I mean, our stuff on earth. He said to store it up in heaven. He made this pretty clear. So we looking at this, and we want to understand more so what he's talking about, because most of us going to look for things that's physical here on earth. That's one of our biggest problems, that what we do. And we got to watch that, because he's telling us in the law in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 6, it says, "Thou shalt not seek their peace nor their prosperity all thy days forever." Don't never do that. In this, I was a victim of that years ago. Yeah, I was a victim because I chased money. I was a big chaser of money, and I was what they call a white collar hustler. That's what I was. I was not hustling illegal, but I was a white collar hustler. I knew how to hustle to make money. That's what I was. I'm not going to sit there and sugarcoat it. I knew how to get in businesses, out of business. I knew how to develop business quickly. I knew how to do many things out there. But he told us right here, he says, "Neither shall thou seek their peace," because you get peace in their money, and you never seek their prosperity. These are things you don't do. And it took me a minute to understand that, to really understand where he was coming from. In understanding that, those forms, and we see where it goes, because if we take their prosperity and everything, it'll blind our understanding. Even though we can be wise, but that wise is still blind our understanding, even the words of the righteous. We got to keep those things in mind. meaning it's a comparison where we can compare when you're talking about a penny a day versus 100K a year. A penny a day is $3.65 a year versus 100K a year. It technically makes no sense because we got a penny physically and 100K physically. It's not going to make sense. It's not going to actually make sense. But his ways are not our ways. That's what we got to keep in mind. And as we keeping this in mind, I want you to keep remembering something that we never forget. In Jeremiah chapter 3, picking it up at verse 15, he says something that was really key here, that'll force anybody who's seeking to teach for God. You got to keep this in mind because he's telling you we can't seek their peace nor their prosperity. So when we go into that vineyard, we're going to get a penny a day and we can't seek their peace nor their prosperity. Then he says, then with that, I will train you. I will give you pastors according to my heart that will feed you with knowledge and understanding. Then this start happening. Everybody with me? I want you to stay with me on this one. This is the key. So as we going through this vineyard, as we in this vineyard, and many of us are in the vineyard, we can't seek the peace of this world because his ways are not our ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. And when we do that, because we got to get this penny a day. Everybody understand what I'm saying so far? Everybody, I just want to make sure everybody understands where I'm coming from. Those 3%, I can care less what you do. I can care less what you do at this point. But the main thing is I want to make sure everybody else understand what I'm saying thus far. Thus far, do you understand it? And we want to make sure we pay close attention to what's getting ready to happen because he says something that we want to make sure we key in on. And this is what we're going to look at to focus in on. We're going to see this here, and we're going to go to 1 Peter chapter 5, and we're going to look at verse 2. Because with this penny, you got to remember with the penny, keep in mind with the penny, he says, feed the flock of God which is among you, taking oversight thereof, not by constraint, but willingly, not for filthy lucre. So we can't take money. So if any preacher out there, any pastor out there, he's in the field out there and he's working and you out there supporting him, you giving him money or anything, that's telling you he's not one of his. Because it's telling you this right here. He said, I'm going to give you pastors according to my heart, that they're not taking money because they're not looking for prosperity here in this world because they agreed upon a penny a day. Everybody with me on that? So we following this all the way across. We see it completely across and it's making sure we clearly getting this. So for a penny a day, we're not seeking their prosperity, but what we're going to do, he's giving you pastors according to his heart who getting a penny a day. They're going to feed you with knowledge and understanding, and they're going to do it willingly, and they're not doing it for filthy lucre. Everybody with me on that? You see how this is running right across the board, clear. It's not hard. This is what, when people come here, when people come to King James Bible University, when people come to the house of the Lost Sheep of Israel, and people who know me pretty good and they talk to me, I'm very strict on this. I'm hardcore strict on this. And I don't play games about this because this is not a game place. This is a place for you to learn. So we looking at this and we seeing what's going on here. So I'm not doing it under constraints because you see I do it freely. And people, people who become millionaires and billionaires saying that God made them rich. God made them rich. Really. But then he came in the appearance of being poor, showing that you had to trade one for the other. But you had these so-called pastors teaching according to their heart, to feed you with their knowledge, with their understanding. But he told us to feed them knowledge and understanding. He said, I'm going to give you a penny a day, according to me. According to me. That's what he wants. So I want to make sure that we clearly get this and understand it all day long. because it's something that we need to really pay attention to when we look at Scripture. We got to look at it. We got to understand it fully, because actually we're going to look at Second Peter. 2 Peter chapter 3. We're going to see something here. 2 Peter chapter 3, and the same thing like we've been saying, our thoughts is not his thoughts. His ways is not our ways. Because he's telling us something, we're going to figure all this out right here. It says, but beloved, be not ignorant. So we can't be ignorant. We cannot be ignorant about this at all. He says that one day to the Creator is 1,000 years. So one day to him is 1,000 years to us. And 1,000 years is one day to the Creator. He's telling you this right here. It says, so 1,000 years in 1,000 years is one day. So we take that one day, and then you look at the one day in the Creator's eyes, that's 1,000 years. And then 1,000 years in the Creator's eyes is one day. So we're going to work this out. And you get a penny a day. So we want to look at something. We're going to look at some numbers. Numbers can't lie. So we're going to look at numbers. And we're going to put numbers there. So what we want to do, and we want to look at this pretty good and get the understanding here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put 1 cent, 0.01, and we're going to do this time 365. You know, everybody know I can't look and type at this. I mean, I can't type and talk at the same time. So if you hear me pause, you already know, okay, he must be typing, because I can't. Actually, I got to do this. Okay, it's 365. 1 penny times 365 equal. We're going to look at $3.65. We got that. And we want to make sure we understand that. Per day. So we got that. So 1 penny times 365, we'll put this there. We'll put that even there. Days equal $3.65. So we're going to put that there. We want that there. So that's what we're looking at. But the Most High said is 1,000 years is one day in his eyes. So we want to look at that there. And we got to see what the trade is. So we're still looking at everything. And what we want to do is put in the $3.65. $3.65 time 1,000 years. So we got to put that there. And let me put this out some. So that comes out to right there, it comes out to $3,650. That's what that comes out to. Now, we have to take that same thing and have to take it back and look at it another way, because he's flipping it back and forth. So now with that 3,650 time 1,000 years, we got to change this number. Yes, 3,650 $3,650,000 when you're flipping it back. But that comes with another deal, because we got to take all that back and put all that back to which it was, which it goes back. So now with one day, what is come to a shocking. It's a shocking deal. So when you look at one day on what he's actually taking from you, what you actually storing up, is this. Per year. So we're going to look at per year. Actually, we're going to do per year. So we see this right there. So we're going to look at per year. So the per year is here. Uh, and that's the per year. $1,332,350,000 based on one day. That's why he's running those numbers that way. So this is what's being stored up in heaven based on a penny a day. This is the complication that most people don't figure out. But this is what's being stored up in heaven for the penny a day. Penny a day tells you. It's right there clear as day. So this is what's being stored up. So if you sit there and say what I have in heaven, yeah, I'm pretty wealthy. Here, yeah, I'm only getting a penny a day. To your understanding. To his understanding, that's what I'm getting. That's worth in heaven. So the ones who's actually teaching truth, this is what their pay is. And all of us getting paid the same. There's no one making one no more than the other. This is clear. So, and the best thing about it, King No Thief, you just heard about a month or two ago. It's some Christian preachers. They had this couple of $100 million in this trust fund where they was retiring on, and somebody stole the money. They can't steal this. This is stored up where God is. Makes a lot of sense. But the reason why we make sure to pay attention to what's happening here, we have people who worried about everything but the right thing. Everything but the right thing. So we having hypocrisy running all through here. Hypocrisy. You have people can put up something that show good show and they call themselves doing something good, but they souls and their image is full of hypocrisy, even if they don't act like it. They has gone thus far they will even talk falsehoods and immorality. On one side they'll be praising you, they'll praise you unreal, and they don't praise you personally by yourself. It's not those. You got the ones who like to praise you openly around a lot of people to where they can have like witnesses. That's the ones you watch because they doing it in like that unreal. I got one elder. He'll sit there and he'll tell me, man, I don't care what you do. I ain't going nowhere. But he mainly tells me. I ain't trying to pray, but bro, I ain't going nowhere. He's, man, you do whatever you want to do. I'm just like a cat. I'm going to keep coming. He ain't trying to, but most people don't even know who he is. Most people can't tell you who he is because I never personally heard him say it in Zoom. But he'll tell me that most of the time I talk to him. Never even said it anywhere else. See, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the ones who like to always openly praise. They like to do it because they like to have witnesses. So if something goes wrong, they can sit there and say they was deceived in a certain way. This is why they do that. This is why I tell people, I just didn't fall off a banana boat. And we need to look at some of the scriptures and find out something. But we want to get a better understanding on what's going on. So we're going to go over here to 1 Timothy chapter 5 and look at verse 6. We're going to find out something that's really, really peculiar here. And we want to understand what's going on. It says, but she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Most people say, man, I ain't never seen that. It's always been there. It's always been there. The reason why you have ones living according to their spirit, Understand what I'm saying? They living according to their spirit. They do such things. They have pleasure also doing so as they live, seeking to find something that is none and nowhere found in Scripture. Nowhere. I'm not teaching you for me. I'm not teaching you for me or how you need to pay me filthy lucre. You don't see me teach it. You ain't never heard me even say it. You never seen me talk about it. You never seen me tell you how you need to take care of me, or you need to pay something into me on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Because I just don't do it. Because he said, I'm going to pay you a penny a day. I took that with all seriousness. So many that are here, we have some that are here, even proved even in the vote. They're still dead, but they're just trying to live among the living. They're still dead, but they're trying to live among the living. When at the end, they're still going to be dead. Seeking mainly to find errors based on my wealth. For what? What do my wealth have to do with anything? What will you gain from that knowledge to know what my wealth is? See, that's the key on everything. What would you gain from it? Because you seek in vanity to find nothing, looking to turn anything into deceit. That's what we do. In fact, in verse 7, it tells us a little bit more. It says, including those things to give charge that they may be blameless. That's the key right there. Because they doing so that somehow they can find blame, and they can be blameless for the ways that you was evil when they was deceived. It's thinking that through your wealth, you deceived them. Have you ever thought about that? Verse 8 is even more clear. It's more clear. Because it's telling you something that we really need to pay attention to. Because it's telling, but providing any provide not for his own. We're gonna unpack that. Meaning you're gonna sit there, you want to do something. The reason why it's saying that, I want to show you something. We're gonna go in two places. It's gonna be in the same place, but I want to make sure you see it together. We're gonna go to the same place. We're gonna look at 1 Timothy chapter 5, but I'm gonna show you in verse 1. Because we're going to hold both of them. And we're still in chapter 5 over here, but I want to show you this was the focus the entire time. It says, rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, including the younger men also, brethren. Why is it saying that? Because you don't sit there to try to rebuke or to blame something on the elder. However, entreat him, make requests or desires as an elder, comparing him as one is to your father, including the younger men. That's what it's telling you. Right here in front of you. It says, but any provide not of his own, including especially for those of his own house. That's why it's telling you that. So you entreat him. You make requests, desires, to comparing him as one of your fathers, having the same respect. Let's look at something. I'm going to show you something else. We're going to look at it a little bit closer. Let's jump down to verse 4 to show something even more clear. It says, but if any widow have children, nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home, then to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before God. That's the point, because your piety is showing honor and respect. And then at home to requite, to repay their parents, and showing that they can have this good thing and acceptable before God, because they've been taught something that can help them get into the kingdom. Not sitting there seeing how you can see what something's based on somebody's financial. Somebody took the time to go through somebody else's financials. That's silliness. Right out, bold-faced, unadulterated, low-down, dirty dog silliness. And they won't do this of their own house. But they want to know somebody else's financials based on what someone is teaching. So you want to see someone's financials based on you teaching. You are sitting in a church where this man in the building making you give up this money on a weekly basis, and you thought he was God. Never seek his financials, but you want to see mine. What that did, you denied the faith, because that's what it's talking about. You denied the faith, and it tells you right here. It says he had denied the faith, including his worse than an infidel. These denied the faith. In the faith is the expectation of the belief of the doctrine that I actually teach. Because you didn't take the time. Well, let me go see how much he's worth. We have 5.4 million people seeked otherwise, showing you that YouTube shows you a lie. What makes it worse, you're worse than an infidel. You're faithless, an unbeliever on what is taught here. That's all you are. In fact, let's look at something. I want to show you something. We're going to look at this, and we'll find it in Mark chapter 23. 23 verse 23. Let's look at this and telling you exactly what we've done, what people do. It says, woe be unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. Exactly what you are. I know 3% of them said it, and that 3%, you're a hypocrite. Straight out hypocrite. And it says, for you pay tithes with mint and anise and cumin, and you have omitted the weightier matters of the law, the judgment, mercy, and faith, but all ye have done, and not to leave the others undone. Pay tithes, meaning you paid your portion, your division of mint and cumin. Want to come with these sweet smelling words. That's what that's actually telling you. You're coming with these sweet smelling words. But inside you're just full of lies, because you omitted the weightier matters. You have forsaken, you abandoned these weightier matters of the law and the doctrines and the teachings, seeking to have faith, the expected expectation of being part of the kingdom. It's ignorance. There's nothing more I can say about it. These things are really done that shouldn't have been undone. These people are nothing more than blind. They same thing like the Bible tells you. They're strain out a gat, but they'll swallow a dang camel. Numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie. That's what we got to remember. Remember the numbers. So next time people want to see something, see a net worth, do yourself a favor. Check your own people. So the same thing, you have people thinking that they're getting something for nothing. Searching YouTube and Facebook and TikTok to where they just doing other things like that. You think YouTube and Facebook and TikTok is free? No, it's not, because it's going to cost you time. The same, it costs you time to go do that research on something that you will not benefit, plus or minus. The same with reality shows and in between. You're paying for it. It's not just money, but it's your time. You think searches don't cost you? It costs you your focus from the spirit to flesh, making you swerve directly from the truth, chasing fables and doctrines of men, trying to sit there to try to find out what's something else on somebody else that has nothing to do with nothing. Everything has a price. Everything. And what you spend it on is your time and your money, and it's your choice based on everything that you do. So if you're trying to get into the kingdom, why would you try to search in dirt? Maybe because you are dirt. And you'll always be just like dirt. Dirt don't need faith. It only need to contain something with time, and let the dirt have no difference than $1 and willing to do anything for that dollar. So the same thing is, I'm gonna open up the Zoom area. And the same as I said, I'm very upfront with that 3%. You need to find you another channel. I'm not here looking for numbers. What we're here to learn, people who want to learn the truth. Not sitting there trying, what he's worth with this and that. That's the stupidest. I'm talking about to me, and tell you again, you're a waste of sperm. Right up front. I'm not here to play games with anyone about that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open it up, and if anybody got any logical reason that they saying that they did it, I'm gonna be in the back. I'm gonna be in Zoom. And I'll be more than answer any question based on it. But other than that, as I said to each and every person that we done went through here, when you want to search financials, go find you a Christian channel and you go search them. But sitting there doing that with me is highly disrespectful. Disrespectful. So with people like that, I don't need. And just as I said, find you another channel. So with that, I'll be over there in the back. And the same ones who put it in there, if you want to sit there and say something when you come back, please come back there. So other than that, I say to each and every person, until next time, shalom.